Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now, of course, the end of March of 2021, and as we head into April is when the Kenobi TV series is really going to pick up on production between Ewan McGregor and, of course, actor Hayden Christensen. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one exciting aspect about the future of Star Wars is that, yes, we do know that Jon and Dave are very busy with, of course, shows like the Kenobi series, Ahsoka Tano, and even the Mandalorian TV show all at the same exact time. So, these two guys are very dedicated to working on Star Wars and really making things work and really kind of delivering as much material as possible in such a short time between now and 2023. Now, of course, in the past couple of months, there's been a big development over at Lucasfilm. Since the Gina Carano firing, we have seen several setbacks with The Mandalorian Season 3. A lot of rewrites, a lot of changes to the actual third season because of Carano's exit and firing by Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy and others. So now as we head into, of course, the middle of this year, we're only getting closer. It's that fast. Once we approach June is where we're going to be able to get a little bit of a tease of what's to come for not just the Kenobi show, but also a tease of what's to come for the Book of Boba Fett. They're actually planning to show us a full-on trailer for the Book of Boba Fett by this summer, so that's going to be very, much of a thrill to see. Now, with that being said, of course, what's really exciting about Jon and Dave is that these two guys are going to be reviving Star Wars Legends material. However, when it comes all down to actress Gina Carano, we do know that Gina Carano really feels like that she was betrayed, and we're going to get more in depth with this. So, with that being said, of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars universe, it's described that both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently very busy developing the Kenobi TV series, Ahsoka, and even The Mandalorian all at once. However, in a recent interview, actress Gina Carano was able to discuss more about her time with Star Wars over at Lucasfilm and her experience working on the set of The Mandalorian. Gina Carano went on to explain that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy often tried to change Jon Favreau's direction with the Mandalorian series, and that many of the higher-ups over at Lucasfilm never really trusted Favreau's direction on it, and if it would even end up being successful at that. Carano unveils that those such as Kathleen Kennedy and other writers and artists over at Lucasfilm were not in support of Luke Skywalker's return. Gina explains specifically that Kathleen Kennedy, though she says, treated her very well in the beginning of production of The Mandalorian, Carano reveals that eventually she began to notice that Kennedy would support those at Lucasfilm that were constantly trying to get her fired left and right from The Mandalorian series, and that it felt like headhunting at time and time again. Carano goes on to unveil that Kathleen Kennedy also tried to prevent many scenes involving Cara Dune to have interactions with some of the major characters at the end of Season 2, and that Favreau was pushing for Gina to have as much screen time as possible in the show in order to make her a successful character at that. Now, Carano unveils that she feels betrayed, like somebody stabbed her in the back, given that Kennedy was on board with her being, of course, a strong female character. Carano makes it clear that if your opinions are different than theirs, then there is indeed a problem. And many employees are scared to actually express their own true opinions, and many employees over at Lucasfilm tried to actually back her and prevent her from getting fired. So let's just stop here for a second. Now, obviously Carano, is a person that likes to express herself, to really express her own opinions, and sadly, it did ultimately lead to her firing. Lucasfilm does not like, people saying what they want to say on social media, and say what you will about what she posted. I know that a lot of people have different views on that, and that's fine. Like I say, a part of being human is having your own opinions, and it's always nice to have your own opinions. So, I'm always up for different opinions. That's all welcome below in the comments. But the thing about Gina Carano is that the way that she was fired is also what really bothered a lot of the Star Wars fandom. It wasn't just the fact that she got fired for exactly what she did, but exactly how she was fired. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, you know, the fact that she was backing these employees, we're talking about these writers and artists that are mostly associated with the High Republic content, which, by the way, is not really getting well received by Star Wars fans. Those are the ones that wanted Carano fired right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. It wasn't even because of the social media posts, it was just because she wasn't within that Hollywood bubble. She was not within that actual space. And that was actually refreshing to me, honestly, to have somebody that is brave enough to actually not just be a sheep and go with the flow with others, just because, you know, you're on the set of a big Hollywood production. I actually found that to be very refreshing when it came to Gina, and that was a very good move on her part. So I think that's exactly why she has a lot of support, why a lot of fans do support her, because let's face it, I mean, she really is Hollywood's worst nightmare. There's no doubt about this. She really is. Now, the other thing is this, and this is a very important thing that I think a lot of fans need to know, is that Kathleen Kennedy was not in support of Luke Skywalker's return for Mando Season 2's finale. There's a reason behind this, and we talked about this before a couple of months ago, is that she knew that the contrast would be so vivid to the fans that it would ultimately destroy the fans' vision or any kind of potential doubts that they had on whether or not the sequel trilogy truly is flawed or not. And it was flawed. You know, once you saw that contrast of what John was able to pull off with Luke and what Rian and JJ failed to do with Luke in episodes 7, 8, and 9 altogether, I gotta say, I mean, that was the ultimate blow to Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, that's really what created the downfall for Kathleen Kennedy by the fandom. The fans were able to get an emotion. We saw how fans were shedding tears and how they were getting very nostalgic watching Luke's return. I mean, it was a big moment at the very end of 2020. It really was a big moment. This was John and Dave's gem of an episode, because it brought back that emotion of Star Wars. It brought back the nostalgia. It brought back what a lot of fans wanted to see in the sequels that they never really received. So, not just that with Gina Carano, alright? The fact that a lot of higher-ups over at Lucasfilm that were trying to get her fired were actually supported by Kathleen Kennedy as well. So, Gina Carano, guys, by the way, this April, we're going to be getting another interview by her. You know, a big-time exclusive interview. We're not quite sure who it's going to be. A lot of people are thinking it might be Joe Rogan, or it might be something else mysterious. We'll have to wait and see. But this April, a big interview is coming by Gina Carano, reportedly, and this really is going to actually further pretty much expose of what really happened behind the scenes and how she feels about her firing and how she feels about everything Lucasfilm related. You know, we obviously know that George felt the same exact way, felt very betrayed, and that's exactly how Gina feels. And a lot of us can understand that, you know? So, like I say, I mean, all the other projects, the Kenobi series right now is trending because it's entering production finally. They also had some setbacks, but now it's actually beginning to film. So, you know, Lucasfilm, good luck with that. I just hope that Deborah Chow can really do something incredible, and I think that she will. So, like I said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.